Have you ever regretted missing a golden opportunity in your career just because of hesitation or procrastination? Or felt haunted by dreams and ambitions that remain on paper because you lacked the determination to act? Unfinished plans, fading relationships, or even serious health issues can all be clear evidence of the consequences of not valuing time. So, are we truly cherishing each fleeting moment, or are we carelessly letting them slip away forever? Today, let's join Buddha and mindfulness in a short story that will help us feel the value of time all around us.
John was a young man living in a vibrant city. He had a stable job, a comfortable apartment, and big dreams waiting ahead. But he had a dangerous habit he didn't even realize: procrastination. Every day, John spent hours scrolling on his phone, watching movies, browsing social media, and constantly reassuring himself, "I could do it tomorrow. There's still plenty of time." His father had reminded him many times, time is something that never comes back. Once it's gone forever. But John always brushed it off, thinking he was still young and had enough time to do everything later. One day, John was assigned a major project by his manager, a chance to prove himself and earn a promotion. But instead of starting right away, John continued to delay. Every day he said, "I'll start tomorrow," but that tomorrow never came. When the deadline arrived, John had only completed half the work. As a result, the company lost an important client and John lost his job. He thought losing his job was the worst part, but it was only the beginning. Without money for rent, John was evicted. Friends distanced themselves, and his family was disappointed. His father looked him in the eye and said, "You wasted too much time, and this is the consequence." In despair, John left the city and returned to his quiet hometown village, where he had grown up. He thought the stillness might help him reflect. Day after day, he wandered through the village, avoiding people out of shame. One sunset evening, as the sky turned crimson, John quietly sat under an old tree, head down, heart empty. Suddenly, a warm, deep voice spoke beside him. "Why are you so sad, young man?" John looked up to see an old monk standing before him. The monk had kind eyes, a calm face, and held a simple wooden staff. Without knowing why, John poured out his story, from his job, his life, to his downfall. The monk listened attentively, then smiled and said, "Your story reminds me of a farmer named James." He began to share how James was hardworking but didn't value time. Each morning, James woke up late and postponed his field work. During the planting season, he kept pushing everything to the next day. When he finally sowed the seeds, the rains had come, and the seeds couldn't sprout in time. By harvest season, his fields were barren, with nothing to reap. That night, looking up at the starry sky, James whispered to himself, "I failed not because of fate, but because of my own delay." From then on, he changed. He woke up early, worked diligently, and never let a day go to waste. A year later, his fields were full of golden crops, and he became the most successful farmer in the village. The monk looked at John and said, "You see, James once failed because he didn't respect time, but he learned the lesson and rebuilt his life. You can do the same." John lowered his head and sighed. "But I've lost everything. What do I have left to start with?" Gently, the monk reached into his robe and pulled out a small object, an hourglass. He placed it in John's hand and said, "Use this hourglass. Whenever you feel lazy or tempted to procrastinate, watch the sand fall. When the last grain hits the bottom, you'll understand lost time never returns." From that day on, John began to change. He woke up early, made specific plans, and focused on his tasks. He took on small freelance jobs online, worked hard, and gradually earned the trust of clients. Eventually, he landed a full-time position. He also returned to his father and apologized for all his mistakes. His father embraced him and said, "Now, I'm truly proud of you." On John's desk, the hourglass still sat. Whenever he felt like giving up, he looked at the falling sand and reminded himself, time is a seed. If sown at the right moment, it blossoms into fruit. If wasted, it leaves only regret.
Time is the most precious asset, and once lost, it cannot be reclaimed. Understanding its value helps us live more meaningfully and avoid regret. Let time become your ally. Invest in what matters and savor the present, because cherishing time is how we build a life worth living. If this story touched something within you, take a deep breath and share it with someone you love. And don't forget to subscribe to Buddha and Mindfulness for more gentle stories and teachings to help you live with clarity, compassion, and peace. Stories and teachings for a mindful life.